Alrighty. Hey, universe. How you been? Wow. It's 6:58 on the 22nd of December, and I have been home for maybe an hour. It was a long day. The temperature froze everything in the house. The sinks in the kitchen are frozen with water in them. The faucet itself is frozen. I've got a hairdryer blowing in there. As a matter of fact, I should probably go check on that hairdryer and see what the hell's going on with it. Don't want to leave that too long under the sink. But, yeah. It's, I think it got up to -2 degrees today. And, so while I was at work, everything stopped flowing. I forgot to leave the kitchen sink on fucking drip. So that was my fault. But I may have a broken pipe in that regard. I haven't seen anything leaking yet. But that's the kind of day it's been. The kind of day where you have no water in your sink because your pipes are frozen. And nobody came to work because who goes to work on a day when it's this cold? Well, I did. And being the only stupid minimum wage employee to show up in my department, I stayed late and did all the work. Yay! How much fun is that? Not much. But, oh boy. I just ate dinner, so I'm sorry. I might burp a couple times. But, in that vein of being inconsiderate, even if a couple of the coworkers I was scheduled to work with today had shown up, they wouldn't have done shit. So really, my day went fine. And because some people were calling out, that just meant hours were readily available for anybody who wanted to stay later. So I thought, what the hell? Had I known that I was going to come home to frozen pipes, maybe I would have come home earlier. But it is what it is. And I've got plenty of... why am I even talking about this? If this were to be an issue, it would be fixed same day. So I guess that's kind of why I'm being cavalier about all this low temperature shit. But this did not feel like the Arctic apocalypse. Not even close. In fact, it felt like a moderately cold day in Breckenridge. It didn't even feel like one of the coldest days you could be up on a mountain. I mean, go up to the top of Copper Mountain or Vail. Fuck, get on the backside of Vail on a windy day when it's 0 degrees. I guarantee your face will be frozen. But, though my snot did freeze to my nose today, that's always nice. It was that cold. It was snot freezingly cold. But, I don't think anyone died. Both my pets are fine. And as soon as that water starts flowing in the kitchen, I think we'll be unscathed from any negative transgression from this ordeal. Oop, pause. All right. So I really hope you had the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of this thing on quadruple speed, because I don't even want to re-listen to what I just said, because I don't think I said anything that made any sense or had any value. So let's see if I can move on from that to something that does. I'm going to start this one with my warning. The creative energy of this initiative it's morphing into something better. And as it does that, there's a lot of uncertainty, because I will neither project nor corral that energy. I will anticipate and help read patterns in the new swirly whirlies. Wait, it's a whirly swirly world, right? Yeah. So the individual who I am going to be cooperating with in some regard, and hopefully a regard that that brings the same level of meaning for me, or for her, that I have found for me in this process. And I think in the process, by having her join the energy, I'm going to get 3 times out of it what I've been getting out of it. And I'm well aware of this. And I already know that the next stage, the next energy is going to bring even more. So all of this is going exactly as anticipated. Although I will say that the co-creator energy that ended up slotting in wasn't the expected co-creator at all. But in retrospect, turns out to be exactly the right person. And has evolved into the situation in exactly the right way. I don't know how to put it, but all of the peripheral concerns of expanding my reach are proving to be of no consequence whatsoever. And that I am grateful for. I'm not one to easily distance myself from the accountability of anything. And I'm also not one to overly meddle. I don't want to just take on every little detail and tell everyone how to do everything. But I have a problem thinking I'm the smartest motherfucker in the room. I know. Fuck, dude. I hate admitting it. It's true, though. It's true. It's a problem. And so, in one of the ways that I am extremely grateful for the energy that is going to help take my reward from this process to a level of unexpected return, is clearly as smart as me, if not smarter, is clearly more creative than me, and is clearly more artistic than me. And I think in some ways is an older soul than me. And all of those all those components of the stained glass facade that is her elegant interaction with the world at large, it's very distinctly different from me. And it presents an entirely new vein of connectivity across all of this. And so much giddy up has my step gained from just the energy that this collaboration is spurring, that it's seeping into everything. I mean, I might as well have been skipping around work today. I was in such a inflated mood. And I can't tell you how many people said to me, you're just great energy to have around. And I felt that all day. Like I was the helium balloon that just popped into every environment at the perfect time to make everybody go, oh, look, a helium balloon. That's a smile-worthy moment. But I don't know if I've smoked enough weed to create enough smile-worthy moments in this recording, so give me some 848 and I'll be right back on the 852, right? 852, there it is. It's so cold that even in light my house on fire position, the torch can barely light. I mean, it is cold. Cold. That's how cold it is. It's 444, cold. I don't know. It's cold with a K, it's cold with a C, it's cold with 3 L's, it's cold with 10 D's. It's as cold as you want to make cold. And if it could get any colder, well, you know what that would be, right? Yeah, it'd be colder. Oh, God, I really apologize for the last 30 seconds. That was terrible. So, how about this for a thought? While I take 14 minutes to warm up the bong. Is it possible that the mental sort of daydream / scenarios you run in your head, could those be the energetic fodder for dream connectivity? Let me explain what I mean. I was obviously today, taking a couple of my coworkers' name in vain. In my head, like, yeah, of course you call that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, hold on, this thing's about ready. Just, okay, let's give it 5 more seconds. Anyway, so you're doing one of those things where you're yelling at people in your head, like you're prone to do if you're me. Hold on. Well, and in so doing, like, I just targeted in on the least effective, or no, let me put it a different way. The most underachieving coworker I had in the entire building happened to be in my department. And it's not that she couldn't be entirely effective if she wanted to be. She just didn't want to be and didn't need to be. So she wasn't. And I'm sitting there today all by myself. Everyone's calling in sick and all this fucking work piling up. And I'm thinking, well, if blankety blank was here, what difference would that make? And then I immediately put her in my frame of front reference, like she's sitting right there. And I turn in my head and I say, you know what, eh? If you would just find something that stimulated you to take advantage of all the skills that you actually have in this universe, if you found something that just you could latch onto and say, this is what I want to do you know how much effect you could have in this universe? How much positive impact you could have? But instead, you're sitting here figuring out every possible way to dodge work in an 8-hour shift. And I'll admit, you're phenomenal at it. But God, what a waste. And this isn't what I was saying perfectly, because it was more one of those 35-second bam, 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 bam. And you think to yourself, oh my God, why couldn't I have just had her right here to say that to her? And you'll never, ever be able to create it again. Well, here's my thought. What if that little, I don't want to call it a shakedown, because I really do think of this person as a peer, if not as somebody a little more skilled in the universe than me. And so we're just taking different approaches to how we're getting shit done. And her avenue of pursuit is her avenue of pursuit. I'm not here to tell her how to do things, but I am here to tell her that a world in need needs people like her to expect more out of themselves than to just be the most effective work dodger on staff. Yeah, that's a title that I guess I can see aspiring to. But wow, you got the potential of the galaxy, and you're using it to just dick around the solar system for what? $18 an hour? I'm telling you, money kills people's motivation to be great. It just does. Pause. Okay, but obviously I almost got too high to finish the thought. So what if, in some state of mind that she's receptive to hearing that maybe she could be doing more with her life, in some dream, subconscious moment of me bouncing through her reality, she has a dream where she walks down aisle 50 at Home Depot, and what does she run into? Me, all full of piss and vinegar, going, listen, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Are we clear? I respect the fuck out of you, and I think you've got way more potential than what's happening right now. That's all I have to say. But that's not all I would have to say. You know, it would be dreamland, so I'd be like, oh yeah, and the pink unicorns over there, they're eating purple Hershey's. You should see them. They're awesome. But I don't know. Yep. Stoner thoughts at work. And I wasn't, oh yeah, I guess I was really high at work today. But mostly because there was so much work to do. Nobody to help me do it. And nobody to watch me and care if I was doing anything. And unfortunately, that is a big time recipe for John to go, well, I guess I should get baked. Baked like a cookie? No. Baked like a brownie? Well, closer, but no, more baked like, Beavis and Butthead? Did they smoke weed? They must have, right? Wait, MTV? No way. No way did they smoke weed. Did that freaky dude with the glass? He wasn't freaky. Oh, God, I haven't watched Beavis and Butthead in forever. Do you know, there's one movie I don't own that I really regret that I never torrented. Beavis and Butthead Do America. I wanted to go watch that like 4 years ago and I couldn't find it. And I refuse to torrent stuff now. I've learned my lesson. But my 68 gigabytes of movies would still like to have Beavis and Butthead Do America in them. Maybe I'll buy it. Who am I kidding? No way am I going to buy that movie. Okay, movies I would consider buying just for all of the enjoyment they've given me. Now, I'm not including ones I've owned or have lost, but at some other time have bought. But a movie I should buy? Leon the Professional. Another movie I should buy? Is that the only one? I think I've purchased pretty much every other favorite movie of mine. Princess Bride, Dazed and Confused, all the Star Wars, obviously. Big Lebowski, Pulp Fiction, Raising Arizona, actually all of the Coen movies. Okay. This brings me to a point of how fucking old can I feel? Well, I can feel this old. In our receiving department is I'm going to guess, between 23 and 27-year-old woman who is extremely kind and good at her job and very effective in what I would consider life at large. This woman has never heard of these 3 movies, and I will do them in reverse order of my surprise. 7, The Usual Suspects, and Fargo. Had never heard of any of them. That made me feel old. And this woman is a huge self-professed fan of Law & Order. Like, Law & Order marathon binger. That's one of the things we had discussed before, how the only real marathon binge that is available if you're willing to sit through 3 days is Law & Order. And we were both saying we're willing to do it. And she's never heard of 7 or The Usual Suspects? Fargo won Best Picture, for fuck's sake. I mean, you've seen it on a list somewhere. You just don't know it. Did that sound like a grumpy old man saying, get off my lawn? I think it did. I think it really did. And that is why grumpy old man has to get baked. Not like a cookie, not like a brownie, like a grumpy old man. Yeah, baked like a grumpy old man. That I will be, said Yoda. I wonder if Yoda was only grumpy with Luke. I mean, he seems so even-tempered most of the time. But with Luke, I mean, banging around in his knapsack looking for fruit or whatever, didn't start the relationship off on a great footnote or footing or note of music. This weed's working. Did I mention I have no inhibitions? Did we get that far? I'd say this is all me. Well, at least for now. And everything up until now, except for a couple of cameo appearances by my Tyler Durden-esque compatriot arch-nemesis Lily Mae Eden. Yeah, it's all me. That's a lot of me. Part of the reason that I'm looking to expand and reach out is because me alone, talking to me about me, well, that's too much of me. Me. So instead, well, I like to talk about drugs and do them because then I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about me doing drugs. So don't be shocked if you hear that shit. And frankly, if you do think that stuff is a concern or that you want to tell me I need to change my life, I can have a very in-depth discussion of personal discovery through drug and alcohol, both abuse and proper expansion. Whatever. I would never change who I am, and who I am has a lot to do with my drug experiences. So I view drugs as having had the kind of impact in my life that now motivates me to be the best version of myself possible. Could I have found this path some other way? I imagine hundreds of other ways I could have found this. But I found it this way. So when I speak about personal experience. I speak about self-reflection. And I don't speak about drugs in a way that is glorious or glamorous. In fact, I talk about them in a very real and fair and open dialogue. I think there should be more of that. And since all that matters on this recording is what the fuck I think, well then what the fuck I think is all we're going to think. And of course, I probably didn't have to throw that many F-bombs into what the fuck I think, but I swear like a sailor whose dad was a sailor and whose other dad was also a sailor. So yeah, like two gay sailors' son, that's how much I swear. I suppose that's a lot. I just don't know many sons of two gay sailors, so I can't really use that as a frame of reference. But if I were to fill that role, I'd be ready for the swearing part. I also bring a lot of good attitude and solutions-oriented outlook. I don't like hearing all the bitching without somebody saying, and since that seems all to be problematic, here's what I think we should do to fix it. Now that would be refreshing. But no, mostly it's just, and another thing, and then the fucking door's squeaking too. Why is that happening? I don't care that it's cold. Somebody fix it. Or whatever, right? Having introduced the entire escapade with, I think I need some WD-40, I really am dedicated to solutions. Why aren't things getting better? Is my big question for 2023. And how can I, personally, in my little bubble of influence, make things better? And how can I convince everybody else in the universe to do that for themselves so that we all of a sudden have this just fizzy carbonated sweet ass beverage of, well, not hypnotic, because as the Mandela effect taught us, that shit doesn't exist, or it doesn't exist like it used to. Ugh. It's all just a simulation. It's all just for me, right? I mean, I know this watermelon sweet Sandia soda from Kroger Mercado is all for me because, yes, I dropped it and it didn't explode, so I figure the universe wants me to have it. Thanks, universe. I owe you one. Actually, I owe you like 1,000,001, but I'm getting there. And back to how I'm just able at this point to enjoy my life in every circumstance. Today's exactly the kind of day that 5 years, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. Nah, at least 5. Would have pissed me off. I'd have been angry getting home. I'd have thought the world owed me something because, damn it, I was the one willing to stand up and do the fucking job, and half the staff was just going to say, fuck you. Do it without me. Yeah, that would have pissed me off a decade ago. Unrightly, unjustly, incorrectly. But it would have. And from that, I would have brought negative energy into a sphere in which it didn't belong, and that negative energy would have been toxic enough to have filtered into something else that didn't belong, and on and on. And it's funny because just in stopping that, just in knowing that on a day when basically, every dice roll went against me. Well, so what? I mean, seriously. I'm still a human being on planet Earth. Not in jail, thankfully. So, what am I bitching about? I literally have the universe at my disposal, and I can do anything I want with it. So what if it never got above 0 today? So what if I was one of the only people who showed up for work? It was one of the best days I've had all year. And I had more than one person tell me that I was a great influence in their day. If I can get through every single year, ending it on that kind of a high note, well, I'll tell you what, I might be back into that discussion about eternal life. No, I don't want that. I mean, if we all have it, but I don't want to do that one alone. Nobody wants to do that one alone, do they?